In the last video, we worked on user creation and setting up our SQL account, which we did, created on our SQL account, and then created our wallet infrastructure. So today we are going to be finishing up this series in this video. So let me just click on sign up, and then we can escape, approve, and then get started. And you can see we already have this, so we can just copy this, paste it here. Choose the amount 5 years this paste, copy or scan, then head over to our MetaMask. We already have a USDC 5. Alright. So it has been confirmed. Send function return to home. Refresh. And then you can see 20. You can see this sent from this wallet, it's 5. And that's functional. We can copy our HTML and then sign out to start. We'll now head over to here. I don't know if this is zoomed away. And I head over to here. And I head over to here. Get. So first of all, build our get user. And to do that, we need our router dot get and then slash and alt, and which means it's only going to be people who are registered that can get the details. It's not public. We're adding a restriction here. Then we use the try catch. Let me just use this one. We use it. And for the try, we'll be getting our user cost. User equals to I think it should be no. User equals to user await user dot find one, and we're using the preview ID because that's what we are basically saving here. Rec dot user dot user ID, and then if no user, then rest the status 400, sorry, and then we can do JSON. I should be do for JSON dot message no user, and this should be, but if it exists, sorry, sounds great, and then this message will be the user, and that was just 8. So continue with using or be doing everything that you are ready to do on this dashboard to get this user. So we first have to create a get user. So to get user data, so it's not conflict because we already have a get user selector here for the state. So get user data, let me just copy this signature and then paste it here. So I'll not be using this. I'll just be using just slash. What's this? Change this to get requests. So the token we are passing, you can remember if you just watched the last video, you can remember how we did the token we are passing. So there's no need to pass any username or anything. You're already passing from our authentication. So user gotten successfully, and then from this response of using user, the user state here, that's what you're going to be using. So response equals to get and this, and then we'll get this and get user data selector. So that should just do it. We have to export it here, and using, I think there's somewhere we had this. Let me just say set up so we'll know how we are setting it up. Copy this import, paste it here, and change the get setup selector with get user selector, and then get user selector with loading selector, and also did here. I'm just going to be copying most of what we did so because they are already familiar with it. Get user data equals to get user data, get user, okay, and get user selector equals to user data, and we'll be using a user effect, which I think what we'll be using is something around here. Yeah. Or we getting our user and this. So this means if is already existed authenticator, then we can run a user effect which will. Let me just import this. Before we get the token and pass it, that means it has already been authenticated. So if we are not doing this check, this thing can send the request without token even existing, favor causing some errors and breaking our system. Each one of our branches there is authenticated, so no conflicts. If authenticated, so we can just get user function. Just click like this. And just get our user function. And then we can also check out here if it works. That means this one will log out. This stuff will log out here. So let's just format and then refresh. Inspect and works it logs out. Yeah, user got in successfully. And then let's check the objects and you can see the objects. We're still getting our wallets. I don't want to be sending this because someone could just inspect and then check it out. So let's go back to our user, which is here. Now on our user route, we'll have to do something. Dot select. Let me use from the user object to the user module. So this dash wallet ID is going to, when we are getting it, is going to omit this. It's not going to send back anything. That's this. Let's just zoom out and then refresh. Let's check again. The user got it successfully. And then see it. And you can see we are not seeing the wallet ID, the wallet set, and the private token. So this is what you are going to be getting. You are going to be inputting it here. Let's just use, let's just dashboard, and then this is the data, the balance. Then for simplest way to do this, I'm going to be adding the model here. So you can get the name from instead of our console.log. We can do if this, that means if there is something in data, can do something like this. Balance. So you're using a default as zero. That means even if nothing is there, it's going to be zero. So no need to do a check if it's something there, zero this. Okay. So for the sign outs, we can put under login here. I'll go to the dots later. For the payments link, we're going to do this. I'm going to change this part. If user data, then that should be username. How can the user data is this? If it's not, then you can do demo user. And that should work for the payments link. Let me check if there's anything that we're adding here. Okay. The other value transaction. I'm not going to be doing that now. Let's see if it's going to work. Refresh. And then so can this jack and the next part should be working with this payment integration with this amount. I'm going to the merchant parts route and let's just open here. Then the user object and any merchant object. So just basically copy this and then paste it. Then code this part out and add this here. So it's basically the same. This is for the username. We're going to pass in a username here. Just the const username equals to reg dot arms and instead of the user, remove this odds because anyone can just use this. Both registered and a free user if you are going to call it out. And you're going to also make sure to select this. You are still having this on select. So this is just for the get user. You can see it's very fast because we have already done that. And then for our sub store, we'll get merchants. It should be get merchants data and with this instead of private token code a username and then pass the username to here. So this should be merchant. We have a route here. Let me just open this route. Okay, it's open there. We'll have to create a new route here. Call it merchant and then merchant route. Yeah. So this is going to be the same with this part. Merchant slash dot username. So merchant got sent successfully. And this will be merchant. And this will be merchant. So on the get user data selector, we'll just change it to this. Get merchant. Get merchant data. And this selector. We're already getting this merchant state selector. So that's what this is. And let's check it out from the merchant speed. How to copy the and paste here. So this merchant speed. We are going to do the same thing we did before. Imports, bring this imports, and then change this to get merchant selector and get merchant data selector. Dashboard. Do the same thing we did here. Get merchant selector should be here. Then get merchant selector, get merchant data selector, gets merchant should be here. Merchants. So we'll do merchants here. Merchants data get merchants function. Okay. Then we'll get this username which is from the params. That's going to be our use effects. That's going to be what you are going to put in our use effects. Up. So it's going to render depending on if we change the username that we are getting from our params. I don't know if you get what is happening here. So the username that is here is what is this params, and we are getting it. Change it is going to change here. It's going to run this. So the username, and then we'll call get merchant function, and then username, and on our get merchants. This is what I missed out. So I'll have to pass this username here. We'll have to pass this username here, and that should be it. Let's just minimize and check it out, and then refresh. Let's see if it's going to get this merchant. And we are getting the merchant. You can see the merchant here. Jack with this wallet address. We're going to be setting it up. So let's just continue. So we are going to set up our protocol first. Initially, I thought of using more than one. That was why it was like this. But because it's going to create a longer tutorial, we had to do one. So for us to run these protocols, we need to first of all check if metadata is available. We check our previous video, you see reasons why we are doing this. We need to first of all check if metadata has already been gotten. So it will not, when we run this, it will not fail. Like the metadata dots protocol. So it's not going to fail if metadata doesn't exist. And you know what this is about. For us to do that also and make it more clear, let's define VT is equals to metadata dot metadata if it exists, metadata dot protocol, or if it doesn't exist, or put polygon. This is polygon, let's not use base because this user has base already. So we'll know when it's working and when it's not working. At the beginning we selected base. So if it's like that, we replace this one with what we define there. And also for our mock address. We are going to do similar step again here. If merchant exists, that means merchant, or this is going to be merchant dot wallet address address wallet address, and that should do it. Let's check it out. We refresh, and then 200, yeah, and we are getting it. This, and this is the address. Let's check if it's the same address. Okay, it's F, yeah, that's the address. Then we can copy address. You can have some USDC here, so let's just do this. Yeah, this is the USDC. We can just send, and just send on USDC, and it's not going to catch it. We're just, so that, let me just show you it's working. It's not going to catch it. So the next thing that we are going to do is setting up webhook, so we can be able to catch the transaction and then store it on our database, so it's able to show, to be able to show here that someone sent us something. So for us to create a webhook, they don't support uh localhost, so it has to be, must include HTTPS. You can see it must include HTTPS. So for that, we will be introducing Outray. Outray, I'm going to be using Outray. That should be outray.dev. Yeah. So this application was built by someone I know, and I found it very fascinating. To start it, you can get started here. Continue with Gito. I just continue with Gito. And I should just name it Create Evolution. So you can do this. Go to your terminal, create new one, and then I've already done this install G, and going to install it globally. Then you click, you use this method. It's very simple. You're going to open your browser, and then you can sign in. So you're running this on port 5,000. I can do this. Or instead of 3,000, do 5,000, and that's just simple. We do port 5,000, and it's going to run it. You can see our link here. So this is going to be our link. So to create the main, we need the route link. So let's just head back to mainly to our code, and here we don't have to clear everything here because we'll not be working much with front end right now. Let me chance and zoom in again, and we'll be working with the webhook, and we do something like router nodes posts. Just give it a name of slash webhook async reg request response. That's what I'm saying. I know what I'm kind of reg, and this should be try catch, and also copy this here to master viral, and there if you get sent a webhook, we're going to be adding an extra security, which I'm going to try as best as possible to explain. And if we check our utility, get circle API, circle public key, you can see some things that we have here. So this is for verify signature, get circle public key. Because of time, we're going to copy this on the GitHub repo and then paste here. Let's just import it here. This gets the public key. This verify the signature. So this is just a authentication. So if this webhook is being called by another party that is not Seco, it will not go through. It will just fail because it's not be verified, and that's what this is happening. This getting the from the key. You can get the key with this. You're going to get the key, and then with the key, we'll then verify the public key, the signature spaces for the message, and then verify it. If it's verified, that means it's coming directly from Circle, which is if it is valid. If it's not valid, then invalid signature is not coming from Circle, then it's going to automatically fail invalid signature with this message invalid signature. But if it goes through, let's just do pause. We'll be getting this notification from here, notification from the request body that Circle is sending us, and we'll just log it out before we start anything that we are going to redeem. Let's just log it out so we'll not be confused. And then notification. And we check here. Just like I'll check past verification. Past verification. So to get this webhook, we'll just API. I think that was it here. Slash API. Let me check to be sure. I always like to check because of issues. Let's see what you're doing. Okay. Slash API slash netons slash webhook. So that should be it. And then just say tab our tests. And we're going to limit it to specific events. We just select this transaction because of withdraw, which if you guys want, I'll do it, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to do it in this tutorial. And then this is why I created it before creating this webhook, because we have to test. And I'm gonna check. Let me check undefined. It passed, but it's saying undefined. I think we have to return something here. I have to return next. That's status 200 JSON message done. And then let's test again. Okay, so it's working. Yeah, it's being activated. It has been activated. Now let's find your testnet circle. Can do something like the first net, and these are MongoDB. We are using Mongo, and these are Mongo. So here you get this wallet ID. I think that should be the wallet ID. And then add funds. And then yeah. And it's this wallet sets send and robots. And this is the first time. This is the first time I am saying this. Go back to wallets. So this means we are already funded 20 years this year. And to be able to transfer it out, let me just bring this thing to my other screen. Be able to transfer it out, I think I made a function here just in case. That's what this script, the script. And yeah, this for the create txt. So you just have to do is the wallet, the destination is this. So this you put the wallet you want, because in this one we used my MetaMask one. That's how I just deposited my MetaMask one. So I could just do this. Let's just try this out. The wallet ID. This is the wallet ID. So I'll just replace it with this. And then let's get my wallet address. We have 34 USDC. So let me just click on receive and let me just use a pyramid the same. And then there's another dollar. So the node the scripts. And I didn't comment it out. So I didn't call it. So I need to call it here. Just have to call it here. TD server and then call it uh let me bring this down and then also I'll import this here and then try again and it's creating and the transaction was created and we can see and send to one keep it MetaMask. Yeah, and you can see 54. So you are sending it out, you are sending 15 something to it, and this is just one. You can see. So you can use this to send to create your transaction after you have used the first net to get the token. So you can use it to test. And we are done with that. So just remove it and then connect it out. It's always going to be on the GitHub repo, so you can try it out. Let's go back to merchants and then now to bring this up and then do our test again. Copy this. How much are we going to be sending? Let's just send $5. We have 54. We have lots of money here. Let me send $5 or just fuck. And let's see what's going to happen. Confirm. And go back to our webhook logs and see. So yeah, transaction in body. Yeah, this is it. So you are getting it. You are getting the log. So this is the log. You can see. This is the past verification was the log that we are doing. So this is inbound and this is outbound. We didn't log it out. So this inbound is 4. We sent out, sorry, we sent in 4 years this is. So to be able to set up our transaction, which is a transaction model, which is this, you can see transaction schema is PV ID, wallet ID, address, amount, chain, token ID, then this chain is just the protocol. So for us to do that, we have to set each user like that. So for us to do that, we need to know the transaction. If it is if notification type, so in case if someone does testnet, it's not going to work. So if this is equals to all the whole transaction inbound is going to be this. It's going to be this. So if it is this, that means we are expecting it just got into our account. We'll just do on that one. If under I'm down because we are going to be checking the states. If notification right now. So this notification is what is this thing, but the notification type is this transaction button, but you can see so it's two different. So if notification is equals to confirmed, that means the transaction is confirmed successfully. We'll have to get just look at this thing so we'll be able to see it clear. We added this, so we just list out the whole thing we are getting. Let me just list it out here. And we're getting the wallet ID from this. This is the wallet ID, the token ID. which is from this transaction, the amounts, which is this, because the amount is string, we are not converting it to numbers. Then we are getting the TX hash and the also the chain. And you guys remember this network map reverse? Let me just show you guys. And this is it. So you know what we did on this network map from the previous video. This inverse means on the base player, the default one that SEC is sending us to this one, so we can be able to save it. This is of saving it like that. So that's what it does. It maps it reverse, and that's what it's going to give us here. The wallet address, and that's just all the thing we need. So we also need to get the user, because right here, let me cancel this. We have already gotten everything here. Because right here, we are getting the transaction, the privy. It needs the privy ID, and we are not getting any privy ID from this webhook. So that's what we are going to do. User equals to await. User dot find one. The find one is going to be the wallet ID, because that's the only thing that we are getting that should be tied to this user. So once we got it, then we'll create the transaction. First transaction module. Let's create new transaction and just do a small transaction, because this is going to be transaction. And yeah, we have already imported it, but if it's not, we are going to import it like this one, because this is the transaction module that we are using. So once we create a new transaction module, we'll have to add, once we created the other thing we defined it, so that will fill this up. It already gets our user. Let me just paste this here for easy access. This is the preview ID, which you are getting from the user. Preview ID, the wallet ID, the amounts, token ID. That's why we did amounts here. And we are converting it to number, because it is number here. And you remember it was giving us a string and an array on the chain, the transaction type, the address, and the TS hash. So we are going to save it. Our read on transaction.save is going to save it to our database. And also, we want to be able to update the user's balance once a new transaction has already been sent. So that's what we are going to do. And so find one and update, and then we'll use the wallet ID, because that's the only thing we have. That's the only thing we have about this user, because every user has a wallet ID, and that's the same thing we are using to get this user here. So that's what we're going to use, and then we increment the amount, and that's only. So this will save our transaction, and also update the user's balance with this amount. So it is 10, and you send another 10 is going to be 20, and that is going to keep going. Let's also minimize, and then refresh, and inspect. I think I closed this inspect before without knowing. So I'll just use 5 bucks. So 5 bucks should be enough. Base, and then copy, head over here, send. So probably no, it's not simple guys. Alright. I should just do the send. Click here. Send this address. Then 5 USDC, and send. Confirm. So I can just click here, send the payments, and just refresh. Let's head over to our MongoDB, and then you can see we have 5, and then our transaction we have this, the base, inboard, the token ID, the preview, the wallet, so we have all these things. So let's just go back to our user here, and then refresh, and you can see, yeah, we have 5 years this year. So that means it's updating the price, but we don't have anything here. our transaction is still static. So the next thing that we are going to do is just to get our transaction, which is going to be, let me just clear all this, which is going to be, yep, that is the merchant. And then we'll close this off because we are done with this. Then we'll copy this, then paste here. We are getting our transaction right now, so we are going to change it to TX, and then we also change this. So we just remove this, add add alt here. So this means it's just gated, and yeah, so cost CX is equals to our transaction transaction load find. So this is going to, we are going to use the freebie ID because that's the freebie ID that we are getting from our rec.user user.user ID. Like the newest one is the top. That's what I'm going to do here. So if TX, then not TX found for this user. For this user, then we can return TX here. So this should fix everything. I think, yeah. Fine. So to be able to use this, we have to get go to our state management. Then we use this. So it's not going to be using any name. And then on this merchant, not be passing any username. I'll just be passing TX, and then TX got in successfully. I think we have transaction state here. So we can just change it to this. And this should be the only thing that we are working with. Yeah. Let me just call it transaction got in successfully. So we get merchant, get user transaction, user transaction, get user TX. Let me just call it like this. Get user TX. And then let me just call this like this. And then yeah, this should be it. And exporting we're already exporting the merchants, the transaction selector state before, so we don't need to export it again so that we'll not run into errors that we did before. We are importing it here, and under this place, we just go also. So this one is a TX, is a transaction, and then under this, under this TX selector, that I just named under TX selector, we should have this here. Get to TX, that should be the name, and we'll have to call it here. So if we call this here, there's something that I want to show you. So if we call this here, that means these two will automatically on. This one may be running, and then with this thing that we added here, this check. So that means it's going to be running while this one is we want to run, and then it to stop it. So this is not going to work. So we'll have to comment this out, and then on user data comment both of them. So anyone which runs first, it will not affect the other one. So we'll not get any issue here. And with that, we can just get this user transaction, and then with this demo one, we'll just comment it out, and then replace it with this one. Yeah, that should be this transaction data. It's already set up in a way that you're going to catch it. CX dot transaction type dot amount dot cricket dots. So let's just minimize and check it out and see if we are getting it. So refresh. Yeah, because we are getting this. So if we do another transfer, I'll do 10. This until and then we'll send 10 and then confirm. I'll send the payments, return home, get started, refresh again. Oh, yeah. And I say we get 10, you get 15. So you can see the newest one is here, the other one is here. So that's how you can also add this to the HTML code. So in this lesson, I hope you guys can be able to do something portfolio all day for yourself and just for your portfolio. And that's just it. As you can see, it's showing us 15. If we refresh, it's showing us 15. Here's it 5, 10. Some jobs in the job markets. And follow for more. Follow my channel for more videos.